Hi again then guys, and welcome to, of course, the third and final tune for the 3 new Super GT cars to come to the game in the most recent patch, capping it off with the Lexus SC430, the car which is probably not going to be as popular as the other two, and it's certainly not as quick as the other two, at least for me, and I think probably for many people. Now, as far as the tuning, if you haven't checked out the other two, once again, for those who don't know, I've left it on racing hard tyres, as you can see, and also left the power and weight stock. So you can see what it can do basically straight off the bat just by changing settings, and then if you do decide to improve the power and weight, of course, you can make it even quicker, especially with balance of performance. So that's what I'd recommend there, or adjust it as necessary. Traction control I've got turned off as always, but as I usually say, that's down to you. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height 10mm higher, so 60 on the front, 70 on the back. Then for the frequency, 4, 6 on the anti-roll. So overall it's very similar to the other two. It's really all about the diff with these 3 cars. So we've got 56 on the compression for the dampers, 85 for the rebound. Once again, 1 degree of camber. You could actually go with less, to be honest, for this one. It's a very stable car. You could try 0.5 or even 0. Neutral toe, once again. Also, of course, it's a cornering and grip build, so we've got the downforce as high as possible. If you need to have more top-end speed and top-end acceleration, then of course you can lower that. As far as the diff, I've opted for the lowest settings on all 3. And then as far as the gearbox, no surprise there. Again, if you've checked out my tunes from the past 2 days, you'll know I left that stock also, to show you basically what this can do with very minimal changes straight out of the crate. So if you do choose to upgrade the power, drop the weight, change the tyres, tune the gears, you can definitely make it even quicker. This is basically just giving you a leg up compared to stock, to give you that little bit of a boost for those who maybe aren't as confident with tuning, so that it gives you an advantage. It could quite easily make you a couple of seconds quicker, given the track, and of course the longer the track, the bigger the difference. Now, speaking of the track though, we need to compare it to the other two, both the Honda and the Nissan. So once again, let's take it out to Dragon Trail, our test track of choice, to see how it does just that, compares. So overall, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, most, if not all, players would assume that this car is going to be the slowest of the 3. It is the slowest of the 3. Now, for some people, you might actually find that you're faster with this car than the other two. Now, I wouldn't say that about the more experienced drivers, because the more experienced drivers will go for stuff like the NSX, where it's a little more challenging, but also a lot more rewarding, and that's what I'd recommend overall. Or the GTR, which has the best of both worlds. It's really good, but also very forgiving. The Lexus, I would say, is more on the other end of the spectrum, where it's not as quick, but it's super forgiving, maybe even more so than the Nissan. So it's definitely a car that is worth your attention, and personally, I'm a big fan of the Lexus. I like it because it's the underdog. Now, in terms of lap time, you can see that my first lap is a 1:35.5, the second lap dropped to a 1:35.1, so my NSX was a 1:33, the Nissan was a 1:34, and this is a 1:35. So they're pretty close, you know, within 2 seconds of each other, but of course, in an actual race, that's going to multiply lap after lap. And again, it depends on the driver, depends on the track. If you do change the tyres, if you change the gearing, if you use a manual gearbox instead of auto, which is what I use, all of these little things do make a difference. So again, I'm just showing you the baseline of what this tune is capable of, and then I have no doubt that many of you could take it even further. So if you do decide to use this tune, I hope you have a ton of fun with it, and click here on screen to see yesterday's tunes, the day before, and all of my others as well. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.